Okay, okay, we are here. We are here.
And still pulling double duty.
Yep, double, 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 triple
Yes.
duty. Go ahead, talk to us, Sharon. You are online with me. Tell us who we're about, what we're doing.
Good evening and welcome to Taking the Journey Together.
Mm-hmm.
And we are thrilled to have you with us again this week after um, a busy week. I don't know, if you had children, if you have children, it was a very busy week because of the costumes and the Halloween and the candy and the all of this. It was
Mm-hmm.
amazing some of the costumes that kids had on at school. It was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, but see, religious people say that's a bad pagan week. You don't do no Halloween stuff. It's a mixture of a religion and a mixture of Catholicism holiday, I think it was, mixed together.
I don't
Yeah,
know. It was
something like
kind of,
that.
it was kind, it was, I don't know.
In other words,
It
a lot of
was
people don't celebrate.
exactly, but it's what you want to make it.
Is that what that is?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Because personally, I'm over it. I went through that with my kids when they were growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole making of costumes and creating costumes
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. And so it's like, okay, can we be done now? But it was the kids enjoyed it, and sometimes we have to do things that just going to help our kids to be able to be kids for a while.
You mean sometimes we have to recover from certain things that we may not feel comfortable with, certain
Yes,
things that in turn are either a tradition or a religious kind of belief system. We may feel uncomfortable with it, but we have to recover to come back and go back to what we feel is our norm. Huh?
exactly. And sometimes, as I make this segue, we just have to join our children in having fun and take that journey together with our children.
Exactly, exactly. Or sometimes we don't. When we get
Sometimes you
older, we
don't.
don't. Like
Well,
we do right now because we're older, we
yes,
don't.
yes.
Okay, that's another form of
Yeah,
resilience.
exactly. And we are taking the journey together.
Hmm.
And today we're going to be talking about resilience.
Really? Did you know that's?
Yes,
I wonder why I put that
I did too.
in. Okay.
And so that's just you know, because you're so brilliant, I just had to repeat it. You
Hmm.
know,
Well, why don't you tell a little bit before we go any further and you forget what this is all about
okay.
and who we're all about? Because some people, um, this is probably new for them. To be honest with
Well, for those of you who this is new for, listen up. If you have heard it before, listen up again. And if you're memorizing it, go ahead and say it with me. This is our belief statement. The Taking the Journey Together belief statement is we are going to relate. It doesn't matter what your mother says, your father says, your children, or even what Jesus says. We are going to relate. At Taking the Journey Together, we believe in relating in a balanced manner. Balanced relationships are the ones that are entered into as friends first and lovers second, but has both aspects in each partner, which is going to require you to be resilient
you.
quite often.
Yes, exactly. Wow, exactly. And hey, on that particular note, we have someone who's here with us that's been quite resilient.
Oh, yeah.
They're back with us. We're hoping to see somebody else will come on, doctor, of course, our resident doctor, that is. But we also have our resident, how can I say it?
Teacher leader,
Teacher leader. Exactly.
our
Our
spiritual,
own spiritual counselor.
yes,
Okay. We want to bring her in. Do you know her name, by the way?
I do.
You do? You sure?
Yes, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. We are going to bring her in, our friend, our
Yes.
sister Latita.
Hey!
You don't think
She
more
was
than
like,
that.
I was
You
waiting for you to say the name. She was like, let me take
I
a
know.
breath first.
I know it.
well,
I wish I
it's
had a clap track.
it's you are a powerful spirit, and so
Did it scare
sometimes
you?
no, it doesn't scare me, but
Oh, okay.
it's about it's not scary. It's refreshing.
Oh, it is.
It's very
It
refreshing.
scares me because she might know something about me that I don't even know that she knows and she won't tell me. Oh, that scares me.
Well, if she knows something about me, then I don't know. I wish she would tell me because I want to know.
I don't know.
What am I missing about me? You know? So, you know,
I
it's,
mean, sometimes we don't want to know things
I
about
know,
ourselves.
I know.
Sometimes we like to lie to ourselves, so we don't want to know things about ourselves.
Oh.
And it keeps us in a cycle of darkness.
Yeah.
Keeps us
And
in a
sometimes,
cycle of being unhealed.
exactly.
Not a balanced way, not a healthy way to be in a
Right.
relationship.
Right.
But many relationships are
Yeah.
like that. Let's survive relationships. They stay in the darkness,
Mhm.
they stay in the shadow. They don't want to come into
Yeah.
the light. And they're pretty much comfortable. Sometimes they're so comfortable, they don't know the difference between the two.
Exactly. And sometimes we play it on the fence.
Mhm.
We want to know some things about us, and on the other side, it's like, oh, don't tell me this. I don't want to know this, but I want to know this. And so that's not balanced either, because what you don't know, you can't even it out on the other side.
Hey, do you? And I know you notice, Latina, people still live even with all that baggage. Even with all
Yes.
that, they still live.
They do. And I love this show is about resilience, and you must be resilient to your own self.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you think so? Do you think I should be resilient to my own self?
Yes.
Even if I can't stand my own self, you think I should? No.
Well, first of all, you got to learn to love
Oh,
yourself.
you mean I got to get up in the morning even though I don't feel like getting up in the morning?
Well, that depends.
What was it?
Well, because
If I have depends.
no, because
I'm old and I have to wear depends.
it depends on whether you're like Dr. Frazier, who goes to bed for like a month from
Yeah,
time to
you're
time.
right.
So if he doesn't want to get up, he doesn't get up.
Yeah, you're
So-
right about that. He's in a coma.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, he can't defend himself, so we're not going to do that.
Well, see, that was to me. Okay, there are times when I just want to
wish you
sleep.
could,
I
huh?
am telling you, it's like, okay, I'm done. And then, I was talking to somebody the other day, speaking of sleep, and this is kind of off the subject, and I was talking about, it seems like I just can't get enough sleep sometimes.
Mhm.
And she was saying, that's why people in Spanish countries live so long, because they have siesta in the middle of the day or at some point in time in the day.
Look at there. Mr. Alicia Scott. Hello again. Good
Hey.
afternoon to you. Kind of late afternoon, but good afternoon. Anyway, it's the area? I said Alicia.
Araya.
Araya. Okay. Stars of Araya.
Well, close.
Go ahead.
So we were talking, and she said she was making that statement about siesta. And I said, oh, maybe that's what it is, because at about 2:00 every day, I get the sleepies. I just want to go to sleep, and then all of a sudden I'll bounce back from it. And it's like somewhere, some part of my existence went into this downtime
Mhm.
and rejuvenated itself. And about, 15, 20 minutes later, I'm good to go again.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know
to
what
go.
that's about, but
Have you thought about taking a power nap? What they call a power nap?
I thought about it, but tell me when. I get
When you feel tired, usually I can take a 15-30 minute and then roll 10 hours off of that.
Oops.
So those power naps are powerful.
be good if I could, but I get kids at 9:00 in the morning, and I
Oh.
don't get a break
Me too.
until 2:25
Exactly.
when they walk out
Oh,
the door. Sometimes not even then.
Did you give? And I may not have been there because I went some other place. But you told them what we were. Oh, you gave
Well, you
the mission
did.
statement.
Yes.
I did. I gave the mission
No,
statement.
I gave the mission
Okay.
statement, but you said that
Okay.
we were talking about resilience.
I'm
today.
sorry. I was someplace else. I'm here now. I went
well-
over there.
We're so glad to have you.
Deal with you. All this energy here. A man can only do so much.
Oh, but you're the man.
My poly limit is only 2. No, I'm just joking. Okay, listen.
Well, it's only 2, so you're good.
Okay, good to go. Good to go. Wow,
Yes.
wow. So that moves into what we're going to talk about today, which is resilience. What a thing that needs to be talked about. And
Yes.
it really came out of so many discussions, so many misunderstandings, and some downright arguments, almost fights between the two. Usually our topics come from real life situations, and like a lab, we happen to be the first ones
We're the
that have to
rats.
we're the rats. And so we kind of move from there. Usually I get led from there on finding what that solution is, or looking at what it could be that we just went through.
Mhm.
And then I get to how can I say it? The unluckiness to then have to get and dive into it and see what it's all
Yes.
about. But it's really not unlucky
I was
because
gonna say it's not
I'm that
unlucky
way. I've always been that way.
because you thrive on that.
I do.
And
I do.
and I thrive on getting the knowledge secondhand sometimes
Exactly.
because I don't have because I really if I had more time in my day and more control over my time, I'd be able to be more absorbed into it. But I'm so absorbed into those teenagers.
You would rather have me do most of the interpretation.
The interpretation, yes, but I love doing research. I love doing research.
I can't tell.
That's because I'm so busy researching those
That's
those
what
four, those 15, 16, and 17
my
year olds.
research time, and then from my research time, you kind of go from there.
I do now.
Yeah, you know.
But if my schedule
I'm gonna
wasn't as
charge
it
you
is,
too from now on.
oh, okay,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna charge you.
okay, then we'll get rich.
When I used to talk with Latita, she didn't charge me, and I didn't charge her. We shared it freely.
Okay, so that was a sharing situation.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Okay.
Things that make you
Well-
go,
Well, I'll make you do
Well, the thing about it, as I'm doing right now, you can see the
Yes.
example of resilience.
yes.
Resilience is the ability to withstand stress, because there's some
Mhm.
stress going on there. You could say it. Those who are looking. And conflict, and the ability to be able to bounce back from setbacks. That's right. That's what resilience is all about. Now, before we got into resilience or the idea of
Yes.
resilience, it was important because many times people in relationships think that there's going to be no problems, no troubles, nothing at all that's going to cause you to conflict enough that you have to worry about bouncing back. You're going to have that pie in the sky. You're going to have that John Wayne. You're going to have that knight in white shiny armor, or black shiny armor if you want. And therefore, never any problems. And if there ever does get any problems, if there ever gets any discussions, if there ever gets any real arguments, the relationship's got to go.
Yes.
It's just totally a problem. It's totally wrong because resilience shouldn't exist at all. Meaning bouncing back shouldn't exist at all because you should never have a problem in the first place to bounce back
from.
from. Thank you.
Yes.
But what do you think about that, Tita?
Well, I think, oh, wow. So resiliency, spirituality, and growth they have a beautiful symbiotic relationship because people wear spirituality and resilience differently, just like growth. It's all discomfort, but it must happen.
You said a bad word. You said discomfort. You know it.
Well, within the word discomfort is the word comfort, dear. So,
Okay. I'm not touching that one.
And those who are listening, she said it, not me, because most people think that when it comes to discomfort, I don't hear no comfort. I hear the diss.
Yeah.
I've been dissed.
Yeah.
I don't know about comfort.
But to the two of you, the idea of discomfort and resilience, you start with discomfort. The resilience comes with the comfort. That you bounce back, you get the comfort.
Well, it all depends on how you handle it, and that's what we're looking
Yes.
at.
Yes.
How do you handle that problem, that incident, that concern? How do you
Mhm.
handle it?
well, as
We-
positively as possible. As positively as possible. I mean, we know that what they call negative is going to enter in everything. But you take a breath and move in the direction of what's going to be beneficial for you. For you.
And whoever
I
you got,
cannot stress that. Yeah.
and whoever else you're dealing with, that basically both of you are discomfort about, which is where the resilience is coming in, should be coming first place. Again, many of us are in, especially today, we are in conflicting situations because of how politics are. How? Because of the fact that we're facing what we think is another world war, and maybe this second coming is coming. So the idea of discomfort, the idea of us conflicting is at a high rate.
Yes.
And underneath, we want peace so bad, we just don't know how to deal with peace to even have a peace. And the idea of thinking that I need to be resilient, are you kidding me? I got enough pressure going on to even think about that I should be resilient or somehow, in some way. How can I say bouncing back?
Yeah.
I don't want any conflict. I would bet, and I know you know, Latina, right now, there is a high level of dependency on alcohol, dependency on I'll just say any kind of other question you can think of right now to keep you from even thinking about withstanding any stress, because I don't want to deal with the stress at all.
Yeah. Alcohol, drugs, shopping, whatever the vice is that give you your comfort.
Gambling.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of it. Again, it goes back to you. So I guess I can go with this metaphor. I was telling someone earlier. So the letter U is open-ended, right? And as you go around the bend, because you know how the U is made, all right? And if for people that don't serve nor deserve you, guess what? They won't connect with you again because the U is open-ended. You see? So with your resilience, however you wear your resilience, wear it proudly. Okay. Embrace it. Embrace it. If you have to cry, cry. If you laugh, laugh. Okay. If your resilience is, okay, I need to chew a whole pack of gum. Whatever it is, and I'm not recommending chewing a whole pack of gum because of the spare thing, but what I'm saying is, however you can get through it, it's a discomfort, okay? But with discomfort is growth, resiliency, spirituality. To me, it segues from one to the other. It's all about growth. It's all going to be discomfort. It's going to be uncomfortable. But again, within the word uncomfortable is the word comfort. You're going to find your comfort in it all.
Yes. And that is, and that's where,
It's a bad word for some people.
well, bad words are bad words for some people.
Some people just need to cut. Just give me the cuss charge.
But one of the things that you mentioned earlier was when you talked about people looking for peace, people wanting peace, and that's all they want. But sometimes they have to realize that the peace that they want is not the peace that they're bringing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to, those people in those situations need to understand first what peace is, because you have a pie in the sky idea of what peace is, but you don't know how to have peace because you're not bringing it from within you.
Ladies, before we go down that route,
Okay.
which is okay, it's not about it. I want to start at some reality places.
Okay.
And my reality place starts again in our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the reality place is going to be for a lot of people when they hear this, because we have to be the good example to at the same time help people be able to move from that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And we don't want to talk so far that we ourselves have not lived it and then become an example.
Right.
You have not to know that you can be resilient. This is not just lip service.
Yes.
Now, Sharon, you talked before this time and you had this kind of way of how you handle problems that I want to share with folks, because the fact that I didn't know that till well into our relationship.
Yeah.
Why many times we need to avoid things in our relationship, but yet in the morning you'd wake up like it never even existed.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, now I know she's very intelligent. I know she's got some gears rolling on in her mind, and she's smart. Why is in the morning it's like nothing even happened the day before? And I don't believe in black women being bleached blondes who have no brains whatsoever. So I was kind of wondering what was beyond what was there. We finally got an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in a relationship, because growth in healing is not a destiny. It's a destiny. Well, it's a path. It's not how can I say it? A point with no return.
Right.
So she basically had me move to this. And I want everybody to take a look at this real quickly. If I could. Oh, there it is. Okay, there it is. This is a picture of a website that belongs to a young man, Jamal Tony, who's a professor in this town, who is an expert on the Gullah Geechee community. And he dresses up, like you see on the right-hand side, as the spirit of Africa. So basically, the spirits of Africa actually channel through him. And we've seen him many times. First time I thought he was crazy. Until later on, I found out he just had the ability to be able to listen to our ancestors and channel through him. the Gullah Geechee people have a saying when it comes to a transitional from one day to another. It's called day clean.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they call it. They call it day clean. By the way, Latita, have you ever heard of that saying before, day clean?
Actually, I have heard of it before, of cleansing yourself before. Yes, I have heard of it before.
Yes. Day clean, if you look at the screen closely, I don't know if you can because I don't know how big I got it. It says, each day is a new day. Each day starts anew. No matter what occurred yesterday, today is a new day. And when I saw that, I immediately attached that and said, Sharon, are you practicing a Gullah Geechee tradition? And of course, Brother Jamal would say we all Gullah Geechee because we all came some way and somehow the same way into Africa, from Africa, it being enslaved from Africa, coming here either through Virginia, either coming through Georgia, or coming South Carolina,
North
and Florida,
Carolina, yeah.
and the Caribbean islands. But anyway, and so I thought to myself, maybe this is a tradition that you picked up. Well, lo and behold, after she heard it, at least that particular time, she goes, yeah. I said, so no wonder why in the morning everything's brand new. You're a whole different person. And I'm still struggling over the night before that you and I argued about, or I wasn't feeling comfortable about. And it's like, you didn't remember or you didn't care. Whatever.
Yeah. And it was not a matter of, and it's never been a matter of I didn't care. I did care, and I would continue to care about it, but I processed it sometimes in my sleep, and sometimes before I went to sleep, and sometimes as I was waking.
I would never know.
I didn't know either
Because you kept
until
it to yourself.
I didn't know.
I know.
That was just a process that I went through, that I had learned to go through. And when I say I learned to go through, I can't tell you where I learned it, but it was one of those things that I would.
Is she there? Hold on. Where's Latita?
But
You got it on the single.
What do you mean?
You got it on the single screen up at the top.
Oh, hold on.
Now you got to bring her back in.
Okay. There we go. What happened? Hold on for a second.
oh my God.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Now go ahead.
Yeah. So I didn't know what I was doing or why I was doing it or when I learned it or how it came about.
And that's pretty much how that was in the day.
Yeah.
You act like you didn't know what you were doing,
Yeah.
what you were saying, outside of going back to business as usual.
Exactly.
That's not how I was feeling. And you left me many times in the lurch.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you did. So we find that a lot of us will move to a level of another way of escapism.
Mm-hmm.
Because day clean, as you look at it, you can also interpret that as being escapism. Because you can. Forget about yesterday. I'm doing something new today. And we need to move on today. Move from there. Yet, when you apply that in your relationship, that doesn't do well.
Right.
Because what happened the day before could still be lingering that day. Somebody might still have it on the mind.
Right.
Someone not be concerned about it. Someone could be holding it from that end.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, there is a brewing of toxicity that's going on in the relationship that's not being paid attention.
Right.
Now, when you look at the day clean perception or that saying, and you look at the time and space that was done, which was during the time of enslavement, our ancestors were really talking about the problems, the troubles they were going through with white folks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what a life they had to go through.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it, to keep themselves sane, to keep themselves to be able to go on the next day of acting someone humane to one another. They had to forget about it.
Right.
They had to look at the day as being something new.
Mm-hmm.
They had to give God the praise, as you know, in the religious circle they did.
Yes.
And it was not really connected so much to the relationship that they were battling with their mate, because that battle went with the mate that they may have very much been understood that the outside circumstances being enslaved was affecting them from the inside, and they needed to make sure that new day, I'm not bringing that kind of toxicity to a relationship. I think back in that day, those relationships were probably a lot more loving, a lot more caring with one another. because of some circumstances and practicing that particular principle.
And one other thing is as you bring that into play, and
Mhm.
you start to bring some of those ideas to the forefront. They had to have an understanding that how long am I going to hold on to this when tomorrow or today one of us could be sold away
Ooh,
and we
yeah,
never see each other again.
yeah.
Do I want to waste this time
Mhm.
in anger over something that's probably not in my control anyway?
Mhm.
Or do I want to, that's one of the things that we always hear, let bygones be bygones.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
What do you do with it? Do you keep it? Do you build on it? Are you angry at the wrong person?
Mm.
Are you throwing all of that animosity
Mm.
towards somebody who has no more control over it than you do?
Wow, wow, wow. Before
Right.
we, what, Latina, come on, we love to have you, Con. Don't let us keep on doing this.
No, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. But that was their resiliency, right? And when you mentioned love, a lot of them didn't know each other. And remember, the older people picked the mate for the other. My grandmother was chosen for my grandfather because both my great grandfathers were friends, and it was about a lineage more
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
They pick your mate for you. So you had to learn to love that person.
Mhm.
Yes.
Could
So,
you,
so
could you,
it's and going back to, that time, number one, I can't even imagine because I know my mouth. But imagine the resiliency when you talk about day cleaning. That is resiliency because of the toxic nature of certain people that was in our lineage. And they had to go, you know what? I'm not going to bring this, we're not even going to talk about the next day. I'm not even going to bring it into the next moment of my breath. I'm
yeah.
going to let it go right now where it stands.
Mhm.
I'm washing myself of this right now.
Mhm.
So, and when you said that, sister, about processing, that's how I've always processed things very quickly. And the next day, I mean, it's new because it's not that I don't care, but in my mind, it's over. It's done with. Why am I going to bring something that made me feel this way into a whole new day? Let's move forward from this moment and learn from that past moment.
And on that note, ladies, now you know that biblical kind of saying, those go into the biblical thing, which is tomorrow is not promised. You can understand out of that ancient or old wise saying
Mhm.
why that would be crucial, as you just brought up.
Yes.
You could be, I think, about 12 years as a slave. I don't know if you watched
12
that
years
movie
a
called
slave.
12 Years as a Slave. What a very deep movie of showing how folks living every day together could one day have someone that they've been knowing deeply, could be a family or not, disappear the next day, and they never see him again. How would you deal in life with someone you love dearly and you cared about dearly, and there was an outside influence in your life that took that person away? I'm not saying they died. They took them away from the connection in your life, and they were gone, and you would never
Mhm.
see them again. How resilient are you going to be?
Yes.
How are you going to act towards everybody else in the family, everybody else as a friend in your community? You could tell their kind of resilience. There's no wonder why they clean had to be away
Mhm.
to be able to understand.
Yeah.
Forced to move on for sanity's sake.
Mhm.
Unlike you, Latifah, you two, I'd probably be killing some people, and I'd probably be dead because I wouldn't deal with it. I'll be honest with you. I'm not that kind of brother who would deal with some stuff like that. I'd be a Nat Turner. I'd be a John Giese. I just wouldn't deal with that stuff whatsoever. Period. So out of that, in our relationships, which we're not actually getting that kind of outside pressure, what do we do in resilience now? What kind of abilities when it comes to stress and deal with it, and how do we deal with it? What are the key factors that we use in our relationships to be successful, whether it's romantic, whether it's platonic, whatever that relationship, it could be professional. What kind of resilience techniques do we use that help us, like a rubber band, bounce back? Not fragile, but be able to bounce back, not be like eggshells, stop walking around the eggshells. Sometimes you do with me when I'm very stressed out.
Yes.
I know you do. Or no, how do we practice our resilience relationship? Are we very, very, very quiet so someone doesn't even know?
Do we stay away?
Exactly. Sometimes we may have to. Time out. including the other one, which I do a lot, showing up. Sometimes it's important for us to show up
Yes.
because we weren't really doing that before. That's why it
Right.
came as a
Right.
problem. Seen and being seen. We know that some of the old school mentality down south where you came out of, the men were to be seen but not heard.
Mhm.
And that's where you thought as being a good man, a strong man. He was seen to be heard. But many times he had to be the way. Otherwise, if he was heard more, he could be killed.
Yes.
So he had to act that way.
And he also had to learn how to, even though he was seen and not heard, he was
Mhm.
seen on a certain level, and that level camouflaged things that he was really doing. So he could be doing other things that were not seen to certain people.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like playing a chess game, a game of chess, which I'm not good at, but I enjoy it. Where you do certain things, it's almost like sleight of hand, but playing different angles. So seen and not heard is not always.
You convincing me, convincing yourself.
No, I'm just
that's
trying.
not me.
I know it's not, but I'm just going with what you said because
Mhm.
Sometimes it's what you're doing things
Mhm.
so that you can't be noticed, so that you can get other things done, accomplished.
Like a bad chess game in a relationship. But sometimes
In a-
people avoid it so much they procrastinate
Exactly.
and let it carry on. And they
Mhm.
use a day clean
Yes.
message, but
Mhm.
that day clean message doesn't work well in the relationship
Yeah.
because you carry on something that in turn needs to be resolved
Yeah.
and healed.
And in a relationship, that definitely is not a good thing. But when you speak of the situation in which a lot of Black men had to exist in order to exist,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the South, it was, outside of the relationship, that was things that they had to do, had to be
Oh
involved in.
yeah.
But inside the relationship, absolutely not. That's being somewhat deceitful if you're doing that within a relationship, because you need to have that connection, that camaraderie, where both of you know what needs to be
We're
going
talking
on.
about healthy communication.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
we're talking about.
yes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're going to take a break here real quickly because it's break time. We're going to come back. We're going to continue in this conversation. And when we come back, it's going to be a bounce back. That's what it's going to be. It's a bounce back because we are resilient. Hold yourself. Go get a friend. Go to a neighbor. Get an enemy. Get your girlfriend, boyfriend. And just wait for us. We'll be right back. Right, Sharon?
Absolutely.
Yes. I know you guys were going to that commercial. It was hip. It was cool. Oh, wow. So we snapped back. We came back like a rubber band.
We're
back.
resilient.
Hey, we're now going to move into some of the practices of resilient relationships
Yes.
that include showing up,
Mhm.
seeing or being seen,
Mhm.
sharing power, disagreeing well, and taking sometimes breaks, or what we call boundaries.
Yes.
Now, Sherry, you were talking before we started. You were talking about how you looked at the dating thing as another way of your processing.
Mhm.
But the only thing about it was on the era of balanced relationship, you weren't sharing that because you didn't know.
Exactly. I had no idea that was the process that that there was a process I was going through. I would just get up
I
and
brought it back.
yes, I would just get up and feel like I would feel different.
Mm-hmm.
My, the weight and the heaviness of the things from the day before, they were just not there anymore.
You do me
And
no good.
and no matter how much I tried, I could not conjure them again. And in addition to that, the fact that you were still with it, I could not
Mhm.
even
You just
say
dumped it on me.
no, I didn't.
The problem before was between you and me. You were doing most of the dumping, so you dumped it on me, kept on going.
Well, yeah, I guess
Yeah,
you
you
could put
did.
it that way. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I didn't know I had dumped it.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it, you didn't, which is why
Yeah.
you used to really twist me from that standpoint.
Mhm.
It was like, you didn't pay no attention, you didn't know.
And I couldn't even tell you how to let your, how to bounce back from yours,
Well,
how
you-
to process
That's
yours.
because you
Because
were
I didn't know I was
that's
processing
because you were
mine.
not at that time trying to be considerate or had any empathy to the crime that happened.
Yes.
And I was still at the scene of the crime while you were walking on and moving on.
Yeah.
But we find out through a balanced, healthy relationship, there are a way
Mhm.
when it comes to resilience, how
Yes.
you handle it.
Exactly.
Walking away, not saying anything at all, it's
It's
not a healthy
it's
way.
not good.
It's not.
No.
It's not. So, in the resilient side, we
Mhm.
find there's some techniques that we can do. I think one of the biggest principles or techniques, even though we're all going to talk about some of the details, is an African principle that I call what?
Sankofa.
Yeah, the Sankofa
Yeah.
principle.
There's
a
so
African
many.
principle
There's like
that-
two that were in my head that could, be right.
What's
in
the other
this-
one besides?
in
Because
this
I talk
case.
about Sankofa principle all the time.
Yeah, the other one was Ubuntu.
And Ubuntu.
Yes, knowing that I'm in this situation, you're in this situation, we're in this situation together, but we can come out of it because of who we are.
But if you walk away like that, you ain't thinking about me in that
Exactly.
situation.
And
So
that's-
Ubuntu
and that's-
didn't even count.
And that's what I'm saying. But if I take that into consideration,
Yeah. You
then
mean
I
now?
will-
That's for
exactly,
growth process.
exactly.
Yes.
taking
yes.
that into consideration, I
yes,
understand
yes.
that it is a us.
It's us. Yes. Yes.
We
yes.
are where we are because of who we are.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
so that's
Okay. I would agree with you on that one. Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. What do you think about that? We're cutting you out. I'm sorry. Tina, I'm sorry, but
I'm when I say I am thoroughly enjoying watching the both of you in your element, but not really in your element because sis is still uncomfortable, but she's parlaying, she's navigating. But but no, I'm enjoying it. It's when we talk about stepping back, some people actually have to step back and reflect. But my suggestion is when you do that, bring that person with you to share your reflective moment. So it won't be that next day. Do it in that moment at that time. If you have to step back. I'm not saying walk away. I'm saying just step back in that moment and say to your beloved, your partner, your spouse, or they, them, they. I don't know pronouns that much anymore. But at any rate, but at any rate, just say, hey, listen, I don't want to argue. That is not my style. But I do want us to come to some type of understanding, some type of comprehension. We don't have to agree, but let's at least come to a comprehension. And this is where you you talk with, not talk to, and you have active listenership. I believe in active listenership. Listenership is a thing with me. Listen intently, purposefully, progressively. Listen to that person that's in your life. Notice the body movements, how many times they blink. I mean, every
Oh,
facet of
stop
them.
it. You see that now you're saying some things that I bring up, and someone don't like that. You're being just too intense. You're being too critical. Don't do that. Yeah, but that's
Because
important. Body
we're
language.
not engaging in active listenership at that time.
Yeah, you ain't giving me that.
So that's the difference. She was saying active
Well,
listenership.
see, the thing about it, even though I'm being
Mhm.
joking,
Yes.
I do know the audience we're talking to. Many of them are just operating in the survival mode.
Mhm.
The idea of taking that next level, or young folks say leveling up, where you are now trying to operate in a healthy, balanced relationship, these are the things that you do. These are the things you want to do to keep your relationship healthy. You don't take the approach of, it don't take all that.
Yes.
You don't need to do all that. You're being too critical. You're in turn acting like you want to control me. No, that's not what that is at all. I'm really trying to get to know thee.
Mhm.
I'm really trying to get to know thee. And in a balanced, healthy relationship, that's what it's all about. You're trying to become
Mhm.
an us. I'm going to just give a little bit, I'm going to turn back. They did a study, and I know, Letitia, you know about this. They did a study on relationships that have been together for years. The study was on the outside environment. I'm talking about their looks, facial looks, mainly. They found some couples who've been together for years, their facial looks start looking the same. Have you ever heard that before?
Yes, yes. It's akin to if you feed a child long enough, they'll start looking like you. So yes, I've heard of it.
Um, I don't think they would think themselves as being a child, but that's all right. The important thing is if the outside structure is actually connecting through an energy connection of visualization, can you imagine how much more is going on in the inside and how
Yes.
conscious you should be
Mhm.
on wanting to make that connection from inside? If you, again, want to operate in a healthy, balanced relationship. Now, if you don't want to, you don't want to listen to us. You don't want to be a part of what we're doing. You really don't. But if you are, then you know it is about taking all that and even more, because I'm all about trying to get to know you so we can actually become an us.
Mhm.
Resilience is another tool that has to be used in a balanced relationship, because life is not about being perfect anyway. It's about being a balanced.
Right.
What a good tool to have. What a good tool to be able to use, that you can actually bounce back.
Mhm.
You can actually bounce back. And I say again, sometimes we act like we can't bounce back. But Tina, you brought a good historical concept. How would it be if you were told that you had a rearranged relationship? And then you had to learn how to love or like that person.
Yes.
And then from there, you had to go through the process of going through resilience, this or bouncing back, because this was something that was supposed to be. Now I know we don't do so much as supposed to be. Now it's more free. I don't know how that's supposed to work. But
Not real well.
can you imagine that concept in your mind now? If it was handled then, now we know someone would say, come on, Mr. Butts. Back then, you had the stake of death. You had I'm gonna say the option of maybe walking on the other side of the road. You had the choice of not drinking out of that particular water right there that said for white folks only. And so therefore, what did you expect? How much more different than today? Because at least when those outside environments were that way, at least moved you. Some people will force you
Mhm.
for you to have to connect together.
Yes.
It forced you to have to really gel, bind,
Mhm.
and find a real reason and purpose for you to get together. What do you think about that, Latina?
Oh wow. I mean, what happened then is still happening now. The difference is they just took the signs down.
Ooh.
That's it. That's the only difference. And it is about balancing, as you stated, the resilience and knowing how you must balance yourself, be resilient to yourself. You must learn you. I cannot stress that enough. Learn you before you get into any type of relationship. You. It's a song called You by the late Jesse. Oh, you, Jesse Powell. You. He told you. Okay. You must learn you. You must know you. You must think you. You must befriend you. Because we already know you're your own worst enemy, but have you been your own best friend yet? So
Mhm.
you must be you. Learn you. Be resilient to you. Learn what your bounce back is. Learn and find out, are you able to bounce back quickly or does it take you a while? This is all about the process of learning you, you know?
Exactly. And in the I hate to use this word because we used to use it on the street in the game of life. Are you good in the game of life? Are you bad in the game of life? um, we look at examples of sports where there's more than one person that's going towards a goal who is working in a team environment or us environment and learning how to be able to work together
Right.
for a golden purpose. And taking the journey together is all about understanding that interconnectivity is all about what you could do with someone else that you really can't do with and by yourself.
Mhm.
So it's a team approach,
Yes.
which is a us approach. So sometimes, even though you know the first point is studying it to know you, I can tell you this, that other person in your life, if it is a connection that you two have made, because you had that choice to build up out in the beginning, you can then become a mirror for one another. And that which in turn you need to learn about yourself, you can learn from that mirror from another particular person. Some people call them twin flames, some people call them soulmates. But anyway it goes, you can learn from that other particular individual that you may not be able to see
Right.
about yourself.
Right.
And they can also be a help to help you heal and help you grow. So don't leave them out in the
Mhm.
picture when you're in a us relationship and say, I just got to do it myself. I just don't need no other help. Don't do that. You're going to make the other person feel bad in the first place because they might feel worthless. Like, what do you need me for in the first place? What am I special for? Just to buy you stuff and that's it? But anything else, I can't get to know you any other place. I don't really get to know you from the inside. Don't do that. You two are there to be partners, to be teammates, to help one another and be a help with one another.
And you said it. You said it. The operative word is team. If you flip the word team, you have mate in it. You said it.
There you go.
Mm.
There you go. There you go. Okay. So Sharon, this is only part one of this.
Mhm.
Let's look at we got a little ways before.
Yeah,
Let's
we've
look
got
at
some time.
one of the techniques that could be used when it comes to being resilient.
Yes.
How to be resilient.
Yes.
One of them we start with is showing up.
Yep. Showing up for each other.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're
Yes.
right. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Because I mean, a lot of us show up, but we just show up for ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, you want someone else to show up.
Exactly. But you're not there to be there for somebody else. You're not there to be there for your partner. You're not there to uphold your partner and be on the same page or empathize or hold them up.
Yeah.
You know. And I can say that very easily because there have been times when that has been me, where I'm there. But one of the things, like Latita just said a minute
Mhm.
ago, is I was also in the position where I didn't know how to show up for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't comfortable with who I was. I'm still learning to be comfortable with who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But at least that's one of those things that I'm aware of now. And so being aware of that enables me to be able to bounce back, to see my shortcomings. And I'm getting better at admitting that they are shortcomings. It's
Well,
just,
you're kind of tall.
yeah, I am. I'm very tall. Very tall.
Okay.
Okay, so tall people are in my family. I come from a long line of
I know you
tall
you got the
people.
you got the Bonaparte syndrome. All you shorties have Napoleon Bonapartes. What you talk about?
Yes, large stature
Exactly.
in my mind.
In fact, someone calls you a what? I'm not saying what that name is. What is it?
Please don't.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Please
I
don't.
won't say. But anyway, bow down, Nave. Bow down. No, I'm just joking.
See, that's great. I'm actually 5'9". I'm the short one in my family.
Oh
wow.
my.
I bet
Yeah.
you, do they believe it?
Uh,
I bet you they don't. I bet you they don't, bro. Because I bet you stand above them in your energy and how you present yourself. I don't believe they believe you're short. Not
oh, wait, listen. My sons are 6'5" and 6'7.5", and it's just, yeah. When they're like, "Mom," I'm like, "Listen, come on now."
and they go like this. Yes, yes. I'll slap you until yesterday, and then you'll forget it today.
And that's the funny thing. My son was excited about getting as tall as me.
Sure.
I used to tell him, I said, get a real goal. I have 7th graders taller than me. So
You know, in resilience and showing up, sometimes as a us factor,
mhm,
when we go out in the public, sometimes we still operate on that lower level, the survival level, when it's I'm doing my thing, you're doing my thing, and then somehow we get together. And when we're out in the public, people see that we're really not an us.
mhm,
We see them as being two different people that
yes,
just happen to be standing and maybe in the same place
Right.
with a little distance in between.
Right.
Mhm.
And they will then treat that entity or you two appropriately.
mhm,
I'll speak to her and talk to her in such a way how everything's going, but I know he ain't doing the same thing.
yes,
I know he's really not connected to you, so I won't say anything really to him,
and
or vice versa.
yes, and sometimes it's done because I see you together, but let me see if I can separate you.
Mhm.
And so it's that divide situation that we can divide, and then maybe I can conquer one of you, or maybe I can get what I want from one of you.
Mhm.
But I know as a unit, it's not going to happen. So there are two ways of looking at that. But when we talk about showing up in a relationship, then we know that we have to be in a situation where they can't do that easily.
Yeah. It reminds me of Cheryl and I, because we're in the public, especially through a nonprofit organization that we do. So there's sometimes we have to be in the public. I don't particularly like it, but we do. She likes it better than me. I'm just going to imagine.
I tolerate it better.
You tolerate it. More
Yes.
resilient than I am. Really, I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
Most people think I'm going to be an asshole when I'm out there. Or they're like, we don't want Craig out there. Really, we don't. But anyway it goes, we usually have a powwow speech, meaning we usually have a conversation on how we're going to handle
Mhm.
ourselves and how we're going to communicate to the crowd. And it all depends upon the event we're going to, by the way. If we're going to an event, we know there's some nosy people there that are not about anything but gossip, period. And they are really about trying to add more toxicity because of either jealousy or they got nothing else to do anyway.
Mhm.
Then we try to handle ourselves more appropriately from that end and how we communicate. In other words, how we show up.
Yes. Yeah. And that's and that's that too is showing up for each other.
Mhm.
And it's one of those things that we have to be aware of our audience, and our audience has to be aware of us, because you go into these situations and he doesn't like the large crowds. He doesn't like to be in the forefront.
I'm not really a social butterfly. I
I
can play the role, but that's not me.
Me too. I blame my mother for it, because
What?
yes,
I hope she hears you.
she knows. I grew up very shy, and it's like I'm here, but if you don't remember I'm here, that's okay too. And I did not need to be in the forefront. I did not need people surrounding around me, and she would thrust me into the front because she really didn't want me to be that shy, that introverted. She didn't have a problem with me being shy and introverted, but she also wanted me to be able to be in front of people and handle myself. So that's why I give her credit for it. I won't blame her for it,
Okay.
but I'll give her credit for it.
Well, I hate to say this. We only got a couple of minutes, 2 minutes.
In
So-
that couple of minutes,
What's that?
we need to tell people where they can find us.
Exactly. I'm gonna first of all, real quickly, put this in for the young lady that we have here. I don't know how I'm gonna do this.
Make a banner.
Huh?
Can you do a banner?
I'm gonna create a banner. You're right.
Okay.
I can real quickly. Here it goes. Here it goes. There is. That's what Miss Latita is. She's a leader.
Yes.
Go ahead and read the rest, Miss Lady.
Oh wow, Latita, is that evolving?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mastery of the self, assistant to those in need, devoted to helping others. You said expert in behavioral health. I say exceptional and resourceful and compassionate. And my contact number is 865-271-9694. Please text me first. Please text your name, because what I get is, why haven't you called me? I don't know who you are. Please put a name. Please put a name. Put a name.
That does work out. That does work out. Well, we didn't actually get ours up there today. Though we have, where's ours at, sir? I'm gonna have to make sure I get ours. I'm sure it's our usual one. I don't have an
there it
acronym
is,
as yet.
yeah.
I do have it. Why don't you talk about this one real quickly?
Okay.
The time is going.
You can email us at ttjt at
Mhm.
takingthejourney-together.com. Facebook, it's TTJ Together. Instagram is Taking the J Together. I like that one. I don't know why, but I do. And you can also catch us on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock on WRUU. You can go to WRUU online to catch our shows. And of course, you can catch us right here at 6 o'clock on Thursday evenings.
Exactly. We are just saying today, as we got to get ready to go real quickly, make sure in your relationship, as you take that journey together, understand you're going to have setbacks. You're going to have problems. No doubt about it. Resilience is the next gold nugget that you have to use to continue to move on in a balanced relationship. That's what we're talking about, in a balanced, healthy relationship. Until we see you next time.
Continue to take the journey together.
Exactly. Hey, Latita, can you stay? We want to say something before we get back, okay?
Sure.
That was the wrong one.
I like that.